Every 4 years, the world seems to stop. Offices become quiet. Schools pause their lessons. Families gather around television screens. Cities erupt into celebration. And for 90 minutes, billions of people focus on a single ball. It looks like the world's greatest sport. But what if that's only half the story? Because every pass, every goal, every celebration, every tear, and every victory triggers an invisible machine that most fans never see. While players compete for trophies, broadcasters compete for billions. Sponsors compete for your attention. Billionaires compete for ownership. Governments compete for global influence. Technology companies collect millions of data points. And entire cities transform a single football match into an economic event. Football isn't just played on the pitch. It's traded in boardrooms, negotiated in television studios, analyzed by algorithms, sold through sponsorships, and powered by one of the most valuable resources in the modern economy: human attention. The beautiful game has quietly become one of the largest business ecosystems ever created, an industry worth hundreds of billions of dollars. Yet most fans never notice it. Because the greatest business in football is designed to be invisible. Today, we're not following the goals. We're not following the players. We're not even following the trophy. We're following the money. Because once you understand the business behind football, you'll never watch another match the same way again. This is the hidden business behind football. Every business begins with a product. Technology companies sell software. Car companies sell vehicles. Airlines sell transportation. But football sells something far more valuable: attention. Think about it. How many products can make billions of people stop what they're doing at exactly the same time? Very few. A football match can empty the streets of entire cities. Restaurants rearrange their schedules. Airports fill with passengers wearing club jerseys. News channels interrupt their programming. Social media explodes with millions of conversations every minute. For 90 minutes, the world's attention is focused on one event. And in the modern economy, attention is one of the most valuable commodities that exists. This is why football became much more than a sport. It became an economic platform. Every person watching a match represents value. Not because they bought a ticket, but because someone wants their attention. Broadcasters want viewers. Sponsors want customers. Sportswear companies want loyal fans. Streaming platforms want subscribers. Technology companies want data. Even cities want tourists. Football brings all of them together. That is why every major match creates a chain reaction throughout the economy. Hotels welcome traveling supporters. Airlines add extra flights. Restaurants fill with customers. Taxi drivers complete thousands of additional trips. Retail stores sell jerseys and souvenirs. Advertising agencies launch global campaigns. Television networks compete for audiences. One football match can activate hundreds of different businesses simultaneously. And that's what makes football extraordinary. The players only see the pitch. The fans only see the match. But beneath every whistle, a much larger machine is already at work. Because football isn't just powered by athletes. It's powered by an invisible network of businesses working together behind the scenes. Broadcasters fight for television rights. Global brands compete for sponsorship deals. Technology companies collect millions of data points. Governments use major tournaments to showcase their countries. Airlines transport supporters across continents. Hotels prepare for thousands of visitors. Media companies create endless stories before and after every match. To most fans, these industries seem completely separate. In reality, they're all connected by one thing: attention. The moment millions of people focus on a single football match, an enormous commercial ecosystem comes alive. And that's what makes football different from almost every other industry. The match itself isn't the final product. It's the event that activates hundreds of businesses at the same time. The more people watch, the more valuable the entire ecosystem becomes. More viewers attract more advertisers. More advertising creates more revenue. More revenue helps clubs sign better players. Better players create even bigger matches. And bigger matches attract even more viewers. It's a cycle that keeps growing season after season. That's why modern football is no longer just a sport. It's an economic engine fueled by global attention. But once business leaders understood how valuable that attention had become, a new competition quietly began. Not between players, not between managers, but between some of the wealthiest people on earth. Because owning a football club isn't only about lifting trophies. For many investors, it's about owning one of the world's most powerful platforms for influence. And that's why billionaires continue buying football clubs, even when profits don't always tell the whole story. At first glance, football ownership doesn't always seem like a perfect business. Some clubs generate enormous revenue, yet many still report surprisingly small profits. Others spend hundreds of millions on new players, only to finish the season with financial losses. So why would billionaires keep buying football clubs? Because they're not just buying a football team, they're buying something much harder to create: global influence. Think about the world's biggest brands. Most companies spend billions every year trying to capture public attention. A successful football club already has it: millions of loyal supporters, worldwide media coverage, an instantly recognizable brand, and an emotional connection that few businesses can ever achieve. That's what makes football so unique. Fans don't simply use a club. They identify with it. They celebrate its victories. They remember its greatest moments for decades. That kind of loyalty is incredibly valuable. For investors, a football club is more than a sports organization. It's a global platform. A single championship can put a club on the front page of newspapers around the world. A superstar signing can dominate social media for days. A dramatic victory can be watched by hundreds of millions of people. Very few businesses receive that level of free global exposure. That's why many owners think beyond matchday profits. They invest in larger stadiums, expand into new international markets, build stronger commercial partnerships, launch academies around the world, not simply to win the next match, but to increase the long-term value of the club itself. And today's owners aren't only wealthy individuals. Investment firms, global corporations, and even sovereign wealth funds have entered football. For them, a football club can strengthen international influence, promote tourism, open new business relationships, and become part of a much larger investment strategy. In many ways, the competition has expanded far beyond the pitch. Today, clubs compete for fans. Owners compete for influence. Brands compete for visibility. And broadcasters compete for the rights to show every match. Because everyone understands the same simple truth: the real prize isn't the trophy, it's the billions of people watching it. And once you realize that, you begin to understand why television companies and global brands are willing to spend unimaginable amounts of money just for a few moments of football. Imagine you're watching the final minutes of a World Cup final. The score is tied. Millions of people around the world stop everything. No one wants to miss the next 30 seconds. And that's exactly what makes football one of the most valuable businesses on earth. Because companies aren't simply paying for football. They're paying for your attention. In today's digital world, attention is scarce. People skip advertisements, scroll past content, watch videos whenever they want. But live football is different. It can't be paused. It can't be replayed in real time. If you miss the winning goal, you've missed history. That urgency makes every live match incredibly valuable. It's why broadcasters spend billions for exclusive broadcasting rights. They know millions of viewers will watch together at the exact same moment. And wherever millions of people gather, businesses follow. Look carefully during a football match. The club's jersey carries a sponsor. The stadium is surrounded by digital advertising boards. The interview backdrop is filled with company logos. Even the match ball, the trophy ceremony, and the press conference become advertising opportunities. Almost every visible space has commercial value. But companies aren't just buying logo placement. They're buying emotion. When a club wins a dramatic final, or a player scores an unforgettable goal, the brands connected to that moment become part of the memory itself. That's far more powerful than a traditional advertisement. And today's business extends far beyond television. Fans watch highlights on YouTube, follow clubs on Instagram, discuss transfers on social media, buy jerseys online, play football video games. The conversation never stops. Football is no longer a 90-minute event. It's a year-round entertainment ecosystem. The match creates attention. Attention attracts advertisers. Advertising generates revenue. Revenue helps clubs grow. And larger clubs create even greater attention. It's a business cycle that keeps expanding every season. But while clubs compete for fans, another competition is taking place behind closed doors. Not for television rights, not for sponsorships, but for something even more valuable: the players themselves. Because in modern football, talent has become one of the world's most valuable investments. For most fans, a football match lasts just 90 minutes. But for the economy, it's the beginning of something much bigger. Long before the referee blows the first whistle, an entire city is already preparing. Hotels welcome thousands of traveling supporters. Airlines schedule extra flights. Restaurants stock more food. Taxi drivers expect one of their busiest days of the year. Street vendors line the roads outside the stadium. Security teams, broadcasters, photographers, medical staff, and event crews all come together to support a single match. It may look like a sporting event, but economically, it's a temporary city coming to life. Every fan who attends the match creates a chain reaction. One books a hotel, another buys lunch, someone purchases a jersey, a family visits the club museum. Friends gather at a nearby cafe before kickoff. Each purchase supports another business, and that money keeps moving through the local economy long after the final whistle. But perhaps the most fascinating market isn't outside the stadium. It's inside the transfer market. Every transfer window captures headlines. One player moves for over $100 million. Another signs a record-breaking contract. To fans, it feels like clubs are simply buying better players. But behind every transfer is a business decision. Clubs aren't just investing in talent, they're investing in future value. A young player can help win matches, sell millions of jerseys, attract new sponsors, grow the club's global fan base, and one day be sold for an even higher transfer fee. In many ways, modern football clubs think like investment firms. They identify promising talent, develop it, increase its value, and build long-term returns. Around every major signing is an invisible team of scouts, analysts, lawyers, doctors, financial experts, and agents. What looks like one transfer announcement is often the result of months of planning. Because in today's game, players aren't just athletes. They're some of the world's most valuable business assets. Yet even after billion-dollar transfers, global sponsorships, and sold-out stadiums, football's biggest asset still isn't the players. It isn't the clubs. It isn't even the trophy. It's the relationship with the fan. Because once the final whistle blows, the business doesn't end. In many ways, it's only getting started. The final whistle blows, the stadium slowly empties, the lights fade, and the players leave the pitch. It feels like football is over. But behind the scenes, the business is only beginning. Within minutes, highlights are uploaded. Millions of fans replay the winning goal. Social media fills with reactions. Debates begin. Transfer rumors spread. Sports channels start analyzing every decision. For football, the conversation never truly ends. Modern clubs understand this better than anyone. They no longer see themselves as teams that play once a week. They see themselves as global media companies. Every training session becomes content. Every player interview becomes a video. Every transfer announcement becomes breaking news. Every behind-the-scenes clip keeps supporters emotionally connected. The goal isn't simply to win matches. It's to remain part of your daily life, and wherever attention continues, business follows. That relationship extends far beyond the stadium. Supporters buy jerseys, watch documentaries, play football video games, follow clubs on social media, join membership programs, and purchase official merchandise from anywhere in the world. A fan living thousands of kilometers away can become just as valuable as someone sitting in the front row of the stadium. Geography no longer limits football. The audience is global. Technology has expanded the business even further. Artificial intelligence helps clubs discover young talent. Data analytics improve tactics and reduce injuries. Smart stadiums personalize the fan experience. Every click, every purchase, every stream, every interaction creates information that helps clubs understand their supporters even better. Football is no longer powered by talent alone. It's powered by technology, data, and human behavior. The beautiful game has quietly evolved into one of the world's most sophisticated business ecosystems. And perhaps that's the greatest surprise of all. When you watch a football match, you're not just watching 22 players compete for a trophy. You're watching broadcasters fight for audiences. Sponsors compete for visibility. Cities compete for tourism. Technology companies analyze billions of data points. And investors build businesses worth billions of dollars. The goals may last only a few seconds, but the business behind them never stops. So the next time you sit down to watch a football match, don't just follow the ball. Look beyond the pitch, because that's where the real game is being played.